Hello, welcome back to Destination Aviation. I'm your host, Jeff Miller. Today we have a great conversation with Rihab Abouzaki. Rihab is a GCC U.S. advertising strategist. GCC, I didn't know, so I'm going to explain it so you know. Maybe you do. It's a Gulf Cooperation Council region. So multiple countries within that UAE, Arabia. We'll get all into that. I'll let her explain all the countries that are a part of it. She's an advertising strategist who explains why billions of dollars in Gulf tourism and real estate marketing often fail to resonate with Western audiences. She's now based in the U.S. after 2 decades of working across the Middle East. She brings a rare insider perspective on how the Gulf-funded campaigns collide with Western media platforms, cultural filters, and proxy systems, and what actually works instead. So we had a really good conversation. And we're going to go right over right now to Rihab. Oh, Rihab, welcome to Destination Aviation.
Thank you for having me.
No, I've been looking forward to this conversation. I'll say with your background and the travel expert that I see that you are from all the information I've read up front. So I've cheated a little bit before you got onto the podcast. This is exciting for me because you're really the first person in this orbit, in this area that I've had a pleasure of speaking with. But for our audience members, it's kind of an eclectic group. There's a lot of aviation professionals, people that either are in the airline industry or they're managing airports, but there's also a lot of people that just tune in that have an interest in aviation that maybe don't work in it. So maybe up front, would you talk a little bit about who you are, your background, and what you're doing today?
Hi, my name is Rihab. I live in Portland, Oregon, and I lived all my life in the GCC, which is the countries that are in the Arabian Gulf. And for me, they are like now, the center of now. I'm originally a jewelry designer and art craft designer, but also I worked extensively in brand management and in advertising. And now I'm working in streaming TV advertising in the US.
No, I love that. Now, GCC, I looked this up before we got on. That is the Gulf Cooperation Council region. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes.
And so those countries comprise Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, and Saudi,
Yeah, we
United
call
Arab
it
Emirates.
Bahrain.
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 So Bahrain. Sorry.
No
Bahrain.
problem. You're
That sounds a lot
welcome.
better than the way I
Glad to
said it.
hear.
Yeah, you said it much more beautifully than I said it. It's when I worked in Pittsburgh for a while, and we were bringing in Qatar Airways, and it would always go back to be Qatar or Qatar. And someone at the company said, "Well, you're in America, so it's fine. You could just call it Qatar." But I'm assuming Qatar is the better
No, it's
pronunciation.
Qatar. Actually,
It is Qatar. Okay. Hey, look at that. All
yeah.
right. Fantastic. So you grew up in this region, correct?
Yes.
And then you moved to Portland, and now
Yeah.
you're
I'm Lebanese American,
okay.
and I lived in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and UAE in general. But I'm so attached to the area, and I would love to. I mean, it's like for me, it's home.
Yeah.
Dubai is home, and like the area is not well known. Like you see, you don't know what are the GCC countries, while they are the best place if you wanna if think about travel and tourism and theme parks. And I mean, they exceeded Disneyland by far.
No, I love that. So while you were there, and I guess just kind of upfront so people understand right now, what you're doing really is you're promoting the region and connectivity and tourism boards, or could you kind of explain at least up front, and then we can get into the details, kind of the background, but your mission right now and what you're looking to do with travel brands and you know, can you explain what you're trying to do for this part of the world? What is your ideology? What are you offering? What's that background? Then we can kind of unpeel it from there.
When I moved to the US, I found that the advertising now, especially with the new section of streaming TV advertising, it's not yet understood by the international brands, and especially my passion places. So I decided to move into advertising for streaming TV advertising and introduce it to the brands that are willing to enter the US market in and let the Americans know and trust them. So by default, I know a lot about tourism and the amazing theme parks, the amazing honeymoon areas, the wonderful weather that you can get in winter seasons and in springs in the GCC. So I decided to take that branch of the company, which is advertising for the GCC countries.
So I'm again, now this is Jeff Miller, aviation oriented. I'm thinking about what you're saying here, and I'm in my mind, okay, so you grew up in this area, and your thought process is it's so beautiful, it's so nice. More people should have an opportunity to experience it over here. And that's kind of what grew your passion to promote travel to the region. Is that
Yes. Travel and tourism and real estate and investment, we have a lot to give. The country's first, the safety. The safety is something Americans always look forward. You know that sometimes you have some aggressions in the world towards Americans. So the GCC is a very friendly locations for destination weddings, theme parks. I mean, my kids, if I take them to Dubai, I have to drag them out of the theme parks. They don't go easily. And you have the best hotels, the best beaches. Yeah, it's like I mean, people know a little about the area, but they don't know how to get to take advantage of what the area has to give.
So you mentioned kind of the streaming side to it, and your target audience generally is the United States. I mean, are you focusing
Yeah,
on other?
we are an
Okay,
American company, but we
okay,
serve the international market, and specifically we created a branch in the company that speaks Arabic and serves the
okay,
Arabic brands,
okay.
because when I came to the US, I found that there are a lot of obstacles towards advertising in the US and finding the right platform. You know, there are so many details in the advertising that are missed when you are advertising from out of town. So we started researching and we found that if you are, for example, a Saudi brand of dates, you know, dates is one of the most wanted fruits in the US, because with the keto and health caution and all that, the producer of the best dates in the world is not yet in the best market wanting it. So we started working on this. For example, we help our clients get FDA approval. We help them find distributors in the US, then they get published in the US. Then we have the tourism companies also. Like I said before, you may not have heard about, for example, the Love Island in Dubai. It's one of the best places for honeymoons and weddings, destination weddings. The theme parks of Ferrari World, like this is the best bachelorette party for guys you can ever think of. And
Wow.
so on. Like so many details.
Yeah.
Like those I want to make sure the American market knows about those things. We have so much to in common. We have so much in common in terms of interest, so that we can communicate. And advertising is communication, basically.
No, I love that. You're giving me an education right now because there's a lot of things you just mentioned that I wasn't aware of. Do you find in your research that the United States is one of the lower markets for this region? Like European countries, is there a higher amount of people that travel there now for tourism? And Asia, is that
Yes.
the United States typically the lower market of people that are actually going there for leisure travel?
Yes, not only, yes, exactly. Because the Americans always, like, for example, for destination weddings or vacations, family vacations, they go to Mexico, they go to Canada, they go to
Okay.
Caribbean. But
Yeah.
actually, for the better weather, for the better service, for the higher end and more like enjoyment with your money, you completely ignore the research of the research on Arabian countries, because there are misconceptions around that, you know. Different people, like when they say, at first they don't know what is the GCC and how safe is the GCC and how sophisticated the tourism in the GCC. They think like all the political stigma and ideas. Of course, people who try Emirates Airlines, Qatar Airlines, and Saudi Airlines, and all those, they understand what I'm talking about. They know that those are places where, and those are services that are so 5 star. But for normal people who saved for their vacations, they really don't go through the details of what those countries can give, and they are really so much that they can give you a great experience with how to say that, with like memorable pictures. Like, for example, if you want to take sceneries, sceneries in Dubai, I mean, you just need to stand in front of something. It's all
Yeah.
there. It's all the best backdrops. So you just have amazing Insta worthy experience without even paying extra for it.
Yeah, no, I like, it's funny when you talk about weddings, I think in America where, somebody goes to Las Vegas and gets married from Elvis. What you're describing sounds maybe a little more classy than that.
Yes, it's spectacular. It's like completely different experience. And I'd love the American people to see it and to know
Yeah.
about it.
GCC, is that, I know you mentioned the countries that are a part of it and the ones that I've butchered, unfortunately, but by name. Is that a tourism that GCC, is that created by someone in your role basically to describe the region, or
No,
is that
no.
it's a government?
Yes, the
Okay, so
government of the countries that
okay,
fall under the Gulf region, Saudi
okay,
Arabia, Qatar, Bahrain, Oman, UAE,
okay.
and I hope I didn't forget any. There's one more.
Yeah, I'm looking because I wrote it down. Kuwait, did you say Kuwait?
Kuwait,
Oman?
sorry,
Yes.
Kuwait, my lovely Kuwait. Yes. The idea is it's a geopolitical
Okay.
and cultural union, same as a European Union. They have so much in common. The most important is that they started growing themselves. Of course, they had the oil money and
Yeah.
growth started by oil, but now you see that they are not dependent anymore on oil and gas, are more into giving their people and their residents and their visitors completely different experiences by using technology, by growing real estate, very very sophisticated real estate portfolios for investment out of town, and they created like a safe haven for education, for tourism, for investment, especially investment in real estate and tourism.
So with the GCC, does that allow that government kind of cooperation? Does it allow someone to travel more easily between the countries? Or you as a travel expert, is your recommendation, let's say somebody that's listening says, "Ooh, yeah, Rahab's saying it sounds fantastic. I want to go there." Do you recommend you focus on one or travel to multiple? Does the GCC allow?
Actually, thank you for asking that question. It's an important one because the logistics of visas for UAE, like Dubai, you want to visit
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi, you want to visit Saudi Arabia, Qatar, it's very easy for, especially for Americans. Like you can get it on arrival, and even the hotel that you are booked to can help you get all the needed documentations for you. It's really visitor friendly. Uh,
No, that's fantastic. Like I said, I've worked at a few different airports where, they have really targeted like Doha targeted, try to, get commercial service to start, especially in the United States, some of these more outlying airports that aren't your JFKs or your Chicago O'Hare's, but maybe your Albany's, New York, or your Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania's.
yes.
With what you kinda describe with your expertise and what you do, now you're focusing on streaming. Now, again, this is gonna be a Jeff Millerism, and you'll tell me, "No, Jeff, that's not right." But, what I'm watching, because 'cause I'm one of those 170 million people you spoke of that stream. If I like, there's a commercial I've been seeing that's been advertised by Emirates, and I think the idea, maybe you've seen it, is they are basically broadcasting, "Oh, if you're gonna go to Europe, why not just go a little bit further and fly in luxury on Emirates?" Is that it's in my mind, I'm thinking it sounds similar to what you've described and kind of what you're really trying to push for and build a brand around the streaming services. So now you could tell me that's completely wrong, but
No,
I'm
no,
wondering in
it's
my
very
mind.
true.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, it's very true. You're spot on because the service excellence in services in the countries of GCC in general, in the areas like Al Ittihad Airlines and Emirates and Qatar Airways and all those, they really strive for excellence. Like they do not like the idea that you come to our country and you don't have a good experience. It's always the strive is always to get everybody having memorable experience. They have, if you see Qatar Doha Airport, it's like piece of art. Dubai airports and Abu Dhabi Airport, like they, how to explain this? It's those are countries who didn't want to say poor me, I'm a desert, you know? They wanted to get out of the victim mentality, get out of the obscurity of being unknown, and they started investing in themselves, working towards excellence, and it's all showing. Now, if you Google Dubai, you see the glamour of Dubai, and this is real. It's not artificial, it's not buildings only, it's service, people, excitement, enjoyment. All together, you know, like it's a world class experience of elegance and of investing in yourself and enjoying your vacations in a new high level actually.
No, it sounds amazing. I mean, obviously, I personally have never been there, but I have, I've worked in this industry for going on 25 years now. And, like I said, especially the secondary markets in the US, it's always something that they've tried to get service with, the airlines, rather than a connection point. Now, I'll probably put you on the spot here, but I'm going to ask because when you tell people about, Europe, they're like, oh, if you've never been to Europe, go to London. Okay. If you've never been to the GCC, do you have a recommendation on where you would start if you're listening right now? Like, here's what you should do. Here's where you should go. If you've never been there, what's the first
Yeah, of
thing
course.
you
I'm
should
gonna promote my home
Okay,
town,
that
Dubai,
seems
Abu
fair.
Dhabi, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Al Ain. Uh, you have amazing resorts and scenery and experience. It's a human type of well deserved vacation, you know.
Yeah, that's
Your kids
beautiful.
have like numerous theme parks where they can spend the day for say $95 or something like really much less than Disney.
Wow.
And you can yeah, it's much less than Disney with 10 times better experience.
I'm going to Disney in
And
like 2
without
weeks.
sorry, without demoting the Disney.
No, 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 no. Well, you're making me think I should have gone your way because I've been to Disney. But okay, so as a like let's say a perfect example would be me. So I've been to Disney World in the United States, and I don't know if they refer to it as Disneyland in Japan, but I have been to the Disney in Japan. As an American, knowing kind of that experience or the Six Flags experience, Disney's probably more of a right? There's that cultural connection of kids to the movies, to the theme parks. Universal has the movies. When you go to a theme park in the GCC, what would you say is there that component of it, or is it just amazing rides with? Is there like the media component? Are they attached to any sort of backdrop with
Yes.
that, or?
Yes. If you see the Ferrari World, it's a theme park, a simulation based technology.
Oh wow,
And it is a Ferrari, the only Ferrari theme park in the world. And
wow, wow.
it is affordable. It's like completely how to say new experience. I don't know if you probably after this interview I ask you to go Google Ferrari World, for example.
I'm
They
gonna do that.
they have uh, One second. I'm trying to remember. Sorry, I'm dyslexic. They have Warner Brothers.
Oh, they do. Oh, wow.
Yes, but also what's the better in there is that they accommodate the queues. You don't have to stand in queues forever.
Well, you just sold everybody listening. I'll tell you that right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same experience, same company with better treatment, with better
Wow.
return on investment to your vacation. Let's call it that.
Yeah, because it turns into now when you go to, especially one of the parks like a Disney in the US, it's everything is now you have the attraction, but you have the fast pass to get into a smaller line, but still a line, and it really has turned into, okay, it's so crowded. There's so many people. How do we navigate that? So that I think is going to be a key for people listening because
Yes,
anybody that's gone,
actually.
especially right with a
Yes,
family
it is
knows. Yeah.
intentional. I'll tell you what, it's
Yeah.
intentional. The UAE wanted to like explore the world and come back with what's best for us and did it. And
Wow.
it's working. It's working. As I like, they have age. The moment you step into the airports, you know
Yeah.
you are in a better country, in a different country.
Do you when you look at kind of the market and our place for yourself, do you think the reason why people aren't traveling there from the United States, is it just they are unaware of it? I mean, is that and that's kind of the ideology of what you're doing is getting out there and saying, "Hey, take a look at this." You kind of know over the years, right? The Venices of the world, right? We talked about London, Singapore, but is it more of an edification to get people to just understand? Is that why you think there's been a lack of tourism, or is there other contributing factors?
There is no lack of tourism as such. The UAE is a very crowded area, and it's
Okay.
Qatar and all from all over the world. They every year like millions and millions come over and experience. But for Americans and rich Americans are very much there, like they know
Yeah.
what they're doing. But they have real estate investments, they have everything. But when middle class America, want to so they really I don't think they know exactly how safe it is, how friendly it is, and how worth it for money it is. The family vacation in the UAE or in Qatar or around, actually, you can make a GCC kind of several countries vacation, and it's affordable. Like, I don't think people know how affordable it is. When they see the glamorous pictures, they think, oh, it's not for me. Actually, it is for you. And it is the more the group, the better the prices. They have lot of incentives and they have lot of packages that I don't think they are well promoted in the US. Actually, I discovered this from my friends. They didn't know when I showed them the pictures, when I found out, like when they found out what I was living, and where they were like, why did you come here?
So
My
you
husband is
move
American, so
okay,
and
well,
he's
there you
he's
go.
into investment in the US, so that's why I have to be here.
Well, we're a good country too. We got some nice things here.
Oh yeah, of course, of course. With all our privileges as Americans, we still want to explore the world. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
for Americans to open their minds, to broader their ideas, and to get a real how to understanding of the world. We don't want to keep looking at CNN and Fox News and working on our cooking our ideas. Let's open
Yeah.
up and see it as it is. The world is a friendly world, actually.
No, it's a beautiful message. I did a lot of traveling in Mexico at the last job I was at in Laredo, and I often say, even before then, but to people, there's a low percentage of people in the United States that even have a passport, but I do feel like it should be mandatory because the more you get to experience other cultures and other people, I think the more understanding and tolerance people just generally would have. That to the point you just made, which is a beautiful
Yeah,
message that there's a lot more similarities than there are differences throughout the world.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. How often do you get back? Do you go back often with your family?
After COVID, we started getting less. I
Yeah.
mean, we got a little stuck more, but and the kids yet in school, so
Sure.
we are little
Yeah.
limited with our timing
Yeah.
to travel, but
Sure.
definitely every year or two maximum we go once.
Yeah.
We love it. I mean, the kids love it.
Yeah.
And especially for family unions, I'll tell you what, people don't know that if you want a family union without the noise of where to get and who's gonna coordinate and all that, you just find a place in the or in Oman or in Qatar or even in Saudi Arabia, and you will be amazed how cooperative the hotels are and how accommodating to big groups, and you will really find it impressive actually.
That's a good point, and it reminds me of something I wanted to ask you when you were speaking earlier about kind of opening up that middle class traveler. And as a couple of things of this, I kind of wanted people to understand your background and where you are, and then lead into what you're really doing now. But this probably leads kind of into that. If you're that middle class traveler, let's say from the United States, do you have what you're doing, I guess, and we'll kind of get more into that here in a second, but with what you're doing and what you're focusing on with the streaming and all that, if you're the middle class traveler, where should they go to kind of start their journey to book a trip, right? Hotel. I don't know if the rental car is an option or not an option there, or if it's better public transportation or airline. Is that some of your expertise, or do you have recommendations to that middle class traveler of, okay, I'm starting from nothing, but I want to go to the GCC. Where should I go?
Yes, actually, to start researching first. Everything is available. Like the moment you open Emirates Airlines or Qatar Airlines, and they start giving you the packages, and those are like really good packages. And then you go say where to go in Dubai. The data about the countries are well established, and they are checked on daily basis. Like what you hear about Dubai is the actual Dubai from the people of Dubai. It's not like there is no scamming, there is no worries of being cheated or something like that. This is really nice when you go to international travel, because safety matters. Safety matters, especially for Americans. And you start by the airlines. You have the best airlines in the world. No matter who you picked, I can tell you, I don't want to be biased. Any of them, they are all striving for excellence. The
Some of
hotels,
our listeners are biased. They'll tell me in the comments which ones they like the most.
well, they are welcome. I love Emirates Airlines, and I love Qatar Airways and Etihad.
Ah,
Actually, they give you
yeah.
5-star experience even if you are in coach. This
Yeah,
is
wow.
really nice. You have the places you can book online. You can prepare your trip on Booking.com, for example. Giving advertising for Booking.com, but they have, you can book everything on Expedia, on Booking.com. All those are very vital and active in the countries, and they are helpful. Like you feel the reviews, like it's almost too true to believe, like too good to believe, but actually it's true. You see the destinations, for example, you want remote destinations where isolated. There is one place in Saudi Arabia where all celebrities go, and they kind of sneak in their weddings and all. It's called Al Ola. Al
Oh,
Ola, and you can research it, and I can add
wow.
for you the links. And it's an
Yeah.
amazing place, isolated inside the desert, beautiful piece of art, hotel resort type. You have
Wow. So
similar
they
in the UAE, you have in
yeah.
Abu Dhabi places, you have Arim Island, you have in Oman some islands that they have mountain style, not only desert. It's like all I encourage people is that research,
Yeah.
research. Research Oman wedding places, research Oman family vacations, Dubai family vacations, Abu Dhabi family vacations, the whole UAE, for example, the dunes, the desert dunes, and so on. And you will find an amazing sort of activities to do based on your budget. There are some budgets that it can accommodate every budget. This is the good part about it.
Yeah.
So why to keep going to Cancun every time, every day, every week? Let's go to Dubai.
See, is there in your mind, is it a year-round destination? Is there a season of visiting to the GCC?
Yes,
Or
the best time to visit is September to end of May. And also
so
June is good there. But this is like spring of the UAE.
so if you're, like a Chicagoan like me, and let's say it's February like it is, I'm going over there right now and escaping the cold,
Oh
and
yeah, it's a
yes.
nice spring place where you can enjoy sun and good weather, and it's spring for Chicago for sure.
Yeah, well, we would need that here. It's been a pretty cold winter, so
By the
you're
way,
starting to
you
make me think.
remind me, sorry to cut you off. By the way, you
Please, no,
remind
go
me
ahead.
about what is the reason I kept in mind, even since I was living in Dubai, I kept in mind that the local Americans do not know much about the UAE and about actually the GCC. I came upon one very famous sales guru. I'm not going to mention his name for his privacy, and I don't have permission to mention his name. He wrote a
Fair.
book and he mentioned that, um, for example, to become very good in sales and to promote yourself as a influencer, you need to be available for everybody in every country. And it's not the problem of someone living end of the world, like he did it in a different way, like people in the UAE may not know who I am, and as if they are not well educated or something. He put it as a negative, and I saw it, and I sent him an email saying, please Google us. As an American, I'm telling you, Google this area and find
Yeah.
out who this area is, and then tell me if they don't know about you or they know about you, or whatever the concept was. Is just don't say they are end of the world. He used the word end of the world. So
Yeah.
when he googled, I sent him the links, the governor of Dubai, the tourism areas in Dubai and Abu Dhabi and all those,
Yeah.
and he apologized and he said, I'm going to remove it from my second edition, and thank
Oh,
you for letting me know. And he took his
yeah.
own trips to Dubai, and I met him
Yeah.
actually in Dubai
Oh, you did?
before I moved to
Oh.
the US. So, really, if a famous millionaire sales guru didn't know about, so I don't blame us. I mean, the general American hardworking families that they don't research well. You know, when they say Middle East or Gulf or Asia, they look at Japan, Philippines, Thailand, but they really have options also in the United Arab Emirates and Oman and Qatar and all those.
Yeah, no, it's again, kind of my front being on this side of it, being on the travel side. I would agree. I think that it's, one of those areas too that there is kind of a misunderstanding of it. And the nice thing about living on a globe is there's really no end to anything, right? You'll find yourself back to where you went.
Yes, I've been around the world. I've been to Thailand, I've been to Singapore,
Yeah.
I've been to Europe, Amsterdam, UK. I've been most of India.
Yeah.
And I find like promoting the GCC areas is really just not giving them a favor, giving us a favor, giving the the
Yeah.
American people an idea that there are places that are friendly for us and they are beautiful and welcoming and worth our money and worth our investments.
Yeah. So, in your current role where you're focusing on streaming, could you describe a little bit of that mission? So, your kind of day to day role right now, because like I said, we have a lot of people that listen that, again, are within the industry. So, they're running airports or they're working at airlines. Is there a spot for you within their portfolio if it's like an airport that's trying to grow service to this region? Can you describe a little bit of exactly your day to day, let's say could I hire, Rahab to do a campaign for me? What could you
Yes,
describe a
our
little bit of that?
company is called This and That Communications. We help middle range brands to advertise on streaming TV in the US. Streaming TV in the US is actually a new, in general, new sector of advertising, but it's the good part is it's most reliable and most watched right now. It's gonna be like it's already the highest growing advertising medium, with the bots of Instagram and the Google having restrictions on searches and becoming local. Like if your IP address in a certain area and you look to other area, you may find restrictions on research. And so much bots online that has reduced the power of online social media. So you have a lot of scams on social media and wrong advertising and so many mess happening in the social media. So streaming advertising is more of um, FCC licensed type of advertising, and it's very secure for the advertiser, and it's also location based, like with no type of manipulation. If you choose to have people know you in Washington people who turn into Prime Videos, Netflix, and the 300 platforms that are available in the US, they see you. So it's actually a saving of money based on location. If you want the people of Texas to know you, you get the people of Texas to know you in their streaming TV platforms, which are connected to internet devices and subscriber based
So if you're, let's say, Chicago O'Hare, Chicago Department of Aviation, and you have a lot of airports put together incentive packages, especially incentive packages for international travel. And usually those incentive packages is a partnership between that airport, which usually in the US is a government entity, and the airline. So let's say like Emirates or whoever it might be.
Yes.
Part of that is, okay, we're going to start new service. We're going to start whatever it might be, 3 or 4 times weekly service to Doha, whatever. If they're doing that and they're saying, okay, we need to come up with a campaign, they could hire this and that communications, and you would work to design, like, do you design the actual
Yes.
content that goes? You do. Okay. So you would like an
Yeah, yeah, we
actual,
have a
I would think,
production,
okay.
full production house. We have full production house. We have editing. We have the booking on platforms and everything. It's a full operation.
Okay, so that streaming is the focus there, but I guess, like, to your point, in my mind, I think with streaming now, it's really kind of probably similar to what it used to be in network advertising on TV, right? Your CBS, ABC,
Yes, yes.
NBC,
Cable
it's the
advertising
market.
is now very expensive and unfeasible.
Yeah,
When you have
yeah,
subscriber-based data, means you have focus groups, you have so much of reach and exact information, so that your
yeah.
advertisement gets lot of return on investment and direct day-by-day monitoring, which is an amazing tool for advertising agencies.
Now I'm gonna take Jeff Miller as the average American and say Jeff Miller has multiple TV subscriptions, right? So you have your HBO Max, your Hulu, your Disney Plus. If we were to work with this and that communications, do you have partnerships with these streaming services, or how
Yes.
does that work? I'll let you explain.
we have uh, we have programmatic platforms, like they um, rates for public, and they have their rates for us, so we convey those rates and discounts and free spots for our clients, because the streaming TV advertising is a new sector and the platforms are empowering us. For example, in cable TV, you used to have 3 hours or 4 hours of prime time. Now you can have 24 hours of prime time when you are working on, say, the top 10 watched movies on Hulu or on HBO or on Fox News or on CNN and so on. It's like the whole category of streaming TV is a revamp catching up with technology, with AI, with searches to become like the best place where you can be verified. No scams. You can be verified by FCC as an advertiser and as a platform and as a viewer. We can verify the viewer, we can verify the advertiser. And this is the safest way to spend money on advertising. Beyond the point, you need to be known, you need to communicate to your category. You say Hulu, they have, or HBO Max, they have millions of sorry, they have millions of subscribers in the US. Now, do you want your brand to be reaching those? This is where we come. This is where our mission. It's an amazing connection between the brand and the market, and it's the safest. From my experience, we do advertising on social media and on LinkedIn and all that. But my best is podcasting and streaming TV. And we're actually preparing a new podcast to be launched soon about the streaming advertising and the empowering of middle range brands, because international brands and very like rich brands like $1 billion brands, they know where they were advertising. But the
Yeah.
medium size brands, they think they can't afford it. Actually, they can afford it, and it's very feasible for them. And it's this is why we need to be here to create the awareness about that.
Is the name of the podcast going to be this and that, or do you have another name for it?
I'm not gonna spoil the
Oh, no
surprise, but
spoiler. Well, how are people going to find
we
it?
will send you. Send
Okay.
you
All right.
invitation for
Um, so you could really start, if you're a client of yours, you could really start with just basic, an idea of, hey, we need a campaign. We're gonna, and I would assume now this and that. Are you exclusively working just with the GCC, or for those listening, do you also work for marketing and branding on any platform, like any? I guess it would be any thought or idea, or if there's another, let's just say an
brand in
airport.
the US.
There you go. Right. Let's
Brand in
say
the US.
Omaha
Yes,
is
yes,
flying from Omaha to Orlando.
yes.
Would you pick them up as a client?
Yes, of course. We serve middle range brands in the US because, like I said, those are the category that needs guidance and need to be very careful with their money, where to spend it, how much they get out of it. And it is a category that needs our attention a lot. So we serve
Yeah.
it fully in the US, all brands in the US that want to advertise inside the US. And of course, we have the department of serving the GCC countries and the Arabic speaking and European countries, basically.
No, I love that. And again, as someone who's put together campaigns at airports, I think Allegiant Airlines would be a good example. They come in and then there's a package put together of a certain amount of money where you're going to focus on traditional, print media, you're
Yes.
focusing on commercials. But for some of our listeners that run these airports, for them to know that, this and that, even if, because if you're, like I said, a smaller market, maybe like a Rockford, Illinois, or one of those that doesn't have a flight to the GCC, this and that still
Yeah,
has a
there are
purpose for
two
them.
separate. They are
Yeah.
two separate
Okay.
departments. They are two separate departments. The one that serves the US, we focus on
Yeah.
middle, medium range brands and locally in the US. But you have 300 plus platforms in the US.
Yeah.
It's really very deep.
Yeah.
For example, you want to reach sports category, you have couple of sports platforms. You want to be on Fox News, on Fox or CNN or ABS or ABC, and you name it. It's like the whole platforms are available for people, but the idea is to get a very smart return on investment media plan with best communication and message in advertising and production, like high end production, so that you can get your brand and get the feedback immediately and start returning the efficiency of the brand into money, like into a return on investment.
Yeah, no, again, on our side to it, there's it's so much, this partnership between the airport to the airline to the hotels at the destination. Do you have a campaign that is public you could speak of that you would look at and say to the GCC, yeah, that was success, whether it was the hotel or an airline or some other partnership? Do you have an example that we could talk of, or is there nothing that's public right now?
Yeah, it's not about giving names. It's about
Yeah,
making sure that the moment you contact us, we know what you're looking for. We have
yeah.
the market knowledge, and you just see your for yourself. Sometimes we give like 1 week free to test the market. We give you testing campaigns and all that. So we work on one-to-one basis with our clients, and it's not about who. And I don't want to throw names, and
That's fair. That's fair.
like I don't want to brag, but trust me, there is a way to know us when you
Sure.
contact us.
Is the best way, and I could put it in the show notes, the best way for people to contact or I guess this and that communications, the best way to contact, is that through the website, or is there something that better I could put in the show notes for people listening if they want to reach out to you on potential avenues for development to the GCC or other areas?
Yes, we have our website, of course. It's www.this and letter N that communications.com. Or you can find me on LinkedIn, Rihab Abouzaki, and the website the LinkedIn of the company is also available. This and that communications on LinkedIn.
I did look you up on
I'll give
LinkedIn
you
right
the
before
link.
this.
No, I'll give you the link. It's better.
I have some of that, so I'll make sure to put that in. And I did send you a LinkedIn request because when I put this out, I will put you in there. And then we're all going to be looking forward
I'll
to
make sure to
the name
accept.
of yes, we'll be looking forward to your podcast name. Now, I'll say one last thing. If there was, you've talked about for the person who's never been to the GC, where they would go, and whether the GCC or not. But if somebody walked up to you today and said, "Okay, pick your airline, pick your destination, pick your hotel." What's your dream? What would you do you have in your mind, "This is what I wanna do right now," wherever that might be? I'm just curious because we have a lot of people that listen to this that are interested in traveling, you're a world traveler. If someone came to you with that, would you say, "Okay, I got a week, I'm heading out." Where are you going? What are you doing? Who are you flying on?
First, I would fly Emirates, and
Okay.
I will go to UAE. I will do a tour in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, in Al Ain, Ras Al Khaimah, and the dunes of the desert. And I bet you will do it every year.
Oh, I love that. Is that for the first time traveler there, how many days would you say you gotta put in that trip? You putting in a week? You putting in more? You putting in
Yes,
less?
days, a 7 days to 10 days trip to the UAE is nice. 4 nights in Qatar are nice. 4 nights to 7 nights in Oman are really beautiful. And Saudi Arabia depends on which areas you want to be in. You can have, say, 4 nights. You can visit places. You can also watch the local activities of festivals. They make lot of festivals, sports
Yeah.
festivals, shopping festivals. Like in Dubai, you have the shopping festivals, you have Christmas amazing in Dubai, you have the wedding seasons, you have Atlantis experience where you can stay 4 nights in Atlantis. It's enough. I mean, the theme parks and the good food and all that is really nice. You just Google us, all I'm saying. Google the GCC and Google Dubai, Google Abu Dhabi, see the Reem Island. It's a lot to talk about.
No, it seems like, there's something there for everybody, the way you describe it, because I'm thinking of travelers I know in my own head, people either I've traveled with or just that and everybody has a little different flair of what they like to do on their trips. But it sounds like whether you're more of a leisure traveler or if you want to get out and experience some things, it has it all, right?
Yeah.
Whichever method you choose, or maybe a mix of
Yeah.
both.
Yes, exactly.
Rob, is there anything that I didn't ask you that you would like to tell the listeners before we end here?
No, you have done great, but I would, if I want to give advice to the 26, 27 brides, research Dubai, research Abu Dhabi, research Qatar, research Oman, and see what you can do. It's an amazing opportunity to get a lifetime experience in terms of your destination wedding.
I love that, because again, as one of these, it seems like in the US, especially on the business side, where, my day job working in airports, everything always seems to gravitate towards Las Vegas, and especially on the bridal front. And I don't know how many times, people can go see the Thunder Down Under in Las Vegas when they could go probably have an amazing experience in the
Well, I
GC.
had a friend. I have a friend who I encouraged to visit Dubai, and he is from Vegas. And after he finished Dubai, he said, like, it is marvelous, and I'm from Vegas. Like, it's wow, and I'm from Vegas.
That's probably the biggest testament right there, right? Well, Rahab, thank you so much for taking some time with us on Destination Aviation Day to explain what you do. And I'll make sure that I put everything in the show notes so people know where to find you, this and that communications, and maybe a little more on the GC.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for your time and for having us.
Thank you so much. Well, that was another great conversation that we had there. I learned so much. And again, it's one of those things that I get to meet so many interesting people in our industry or orbiting our industry that normally I wouldn't get to. So I feel very fortunate in that front to be able to do that. So thank you so much for coming along on this interview today. We'll have more stuff coming up on the Destination Aviation podcast. If you want to be a guest, you can reach out at dapodcast85@gmail.com. You can find all our information on www.destinationaviation.org. And until next time, my friends, I'll see you down the runway.